considerably well at that. So we'll see how those squads do end up faring when they are able to fight their way into that top 3, top 4 situation, and most importantly, clutch it out.
Let's move on now to match number 9. Please welcome back Matt and Cam.
Thank you so much. PGC 2021 brought to you by Alienware and Toomey. Airplanes up and in the air, and SONIQS
Matt, you're not supposed to talk. You're not supposed to talk.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
Shut up
Go.
until the plane is over and we see phase number 1. I can handle it from here. What a nice, relaxing plane path to welcome now SONIQS into the lobby. No shenanigans here, I promise you. And actually, now that I'm looking, wait, no, because I realized Sosnovka Island is really not going to be on the table here, but we could get a weird Georgia Pole Zarky circle. We want to risk it. Matt, do you want to say something? Do you want to try and see what happens here? Do you want to try and throw fate to the wind?
I'm just having a drink of water. You continue on your merry way. I'm going to see if
cool.
it's just me that's cursed.
Looking over here to the north side, we actually have 3 teams all dropping around each other. It's BURIRAM, it's SONIQS, and it's TSM, all getting really, really close. SONIQS still unable to go to their home drop position in particular because 17 are still here. And now they're trying to flex away and maybe make their way to North Georgia Pole. We have seen multiple teams loot up North Georgia Pole for quite a while, for like throughout the history of PUBG, right? The problem is they have to get there without fighting it out at the very beginning, and you can already see God Meow forced to pull away. And we get a weird circle anyway. It's fine. It's mostly a need to get into the circle themselves.
They're pretty close to it. Petrichor Road says, hey, you know, FaZe, how you separated out? We're not going to go that way anyway, and just rolls right up next to where Gustav is. This is a quick send in. The nade's going to go out a little bit ways. Gustav gets knocked. Mings goes for the drive-by and spots it out. Now they're going to get vision on the other members of FaZe. Another quick exchange between them. Mamu Mings, the last one's up. 17 Gaming with a little bit of vision on what's happening inside of the thick of all of this. Vex, the last one for FaZe at the time. They separated out because they wanted this fight, and this is now a problem. I don't know if they're going to be able to reset with the amount of vision that's coming back their direction.
They were so spread already before FaZe even got knocked, and now that was the only little weakness that Petrichor Road needed to find before they cracked this whole thing wide open. In fact, I think if it wasn't for 17 having a similar angle in Petrichor Road's approach, they would be in a lot more healthy of a position. However, they've been wounded themselves down to a 1 versus 1. Spots for Vex is. Vex gets the better of it in damage, but the grenade does even it up slightly, and Mamo has a decision to make. Is he going to go for the revive? Gonna first aid himself first, just in case any pieces of utility come across his way. But this gives FaZe the same revive opportunity.
Now, Vex not going to be by himself anymore. And remember, Gustav, up on top of that building, is still alive and can feed information over. If he hears footsteps or whatever, he can let his teammates know exactly how they need to approach this. Additionally, he's still got enough life. If they can try to finish this off fast enough, they could go for the rest. Or they can just hold down the outside of it and maybe be able to spot it through. No, it's going to be Gustav that goes down as the nades are being thrown into it. Mamu Mings realizing the fact that it's going to be a little bit more of a problem as they don't have any ways to look out from anything that's going on. One side of this angle, though, is going to be 17 Gaming, who has an angle into how this is going to be approached in, and Vex goes down. Now Mad involved in the SSG fight as everybody's trying to leave this area.
Ooh, Roth already knocked. They have 1 kill for themselves, SSG. But again, we know how much they want these kills, whether it's relevant in this format or not. Back on the phase, peeks over. Great spray coming out. It's going to be Vex with both, but 17 are lurking around this entire time. In fact, Suju is on an aggressive push. There it is. Backfill has been deleted. FaZe are now out. And now back onto the SSG mad fight. SSG are seeming to be able to stabilize, but Dave's going for the revive onto End in the middle of the smoke.
Does SSG have an idea on where they're at? They're pushing into the smokes. They need to get Roth back up as well, so that's where one of the members is at the time, trying to make sure that they can assure that one. Looks like Molotov might land pretty close. Not going to be enough to connect at the very beginning of it, but that one's going to be really good. That's going to force Dava out the other side of the smoke, but it's going to be where Space Station Gaming doesn't have any members in, narrowly survives. That one has to drop down. You can see the Keenan's going for the spray into it, seeing if maybe they can connect, but there's these couple of little dips that Matt is trying to hide into, and without enough high ground, you just can't get vision down into them to get the shots. So it's going to be Aldous that gets spotted out. In goes down, but Roth is going to quickly follow it up. Running into this with this firefight breaking out. Not a lot of teams really looking down on this angle, but now Dava, the last one up, as he's got a ton of Molotovs going off around him.
Yeah, there's also BBL looking at this position. Oldless got confirmed by Matrilius off on the side. Matt does go down. Space Station are still alive with 3. But on the low ground, it's going to be a very, very difficult push for them. In fact, Sharpshot just gets knocked by Tank just to the south of them. But a couple other teams also having to rotate into the circle. Kaishin being one of them. all surviving members in one vehicle. Very, very scary approach. How many times have we seen Kaishin forced to do this with no other option? They get a bit of a tree,
Oh,
but
Fury.
that can't be safe from all the angles.
They know the fact that this is where Space Station Gaming is. They've been next to him for quite a while. Sharp Shot just now getting rezzed. Is Fury going to be close enough to make these nades do enough work into it? Roth manages to get away from him. Looks like Sharp Shot does manage to get his med up. So now SSG can use the vehicles for a little bit of cover, but they're close to exploding, and that's going to be a problem. Blows up. Blood manages to connect it on to Keenan, and now Space Station Gaming in some trouble, having to look back up at Fury, who has a high ground position above them. But guess what? Other teams also now starting spot out Fury. It looks like GEX as well as BBL might have an idea on what's going on. Fury, besides the fact that we've just got to send it, we've got to finish this fight fast. Coming in with the Fury that they are known for, jumps right into this wall, and SSG now going to have another nade land on top of him, and it is just connecting time and time again. Just one member up for SSG, and so limited in options on how to handle what's coming through. Fury just mops that one up.
And they take a lot of damage, but no one has been knocked on the side of Fury. However, are they aware of the same angles from BBL, from MCG that have been punishing SSG this whole time, and especially now with the circle going towards the west, BBL do not have to move. They can just continue to deal damage after shot, after bullet point. A little bit of damage coming back their way, forces them to stay a little more honest. And now Rustamar also coming in from the northeast side, trying to go in from a similar angle, perhaps sneaking up from behind Fury if they want to take that northern route.
Yeah, with the western shift, the east is very condensed right now. Near on nobody in the west right now, as all the teams are actually still leaning into a gatekeeping position. See Oath getting vision on what's going on with Ints right now, and they know the fact that there's probably a couple teams in front of them, so they're trying to figure out how they want to push into this zone themselves. Looks like they might be eyeing back in just using the hillside itself. They do have a couple of vehicles that they can run to that were defended a little while ago. TSM still getting some vision on what's going on with 17. Remember, they were kind of wounded beforehand and so kind of limping into this one now with just show up.
Couple of shots, trying to find perhaps the finishing hit by TSM, who are looking for control of the southern side. And now back onto the Fury versus BBL. Standoff.
Oh, Oath. There's just nowhere to go, man. SONIQS one side, MCG on the other, Ints on the other one with it. They make a gamble into it, but I mean, Multi-Circle Gaming's got vision on the entirety of this hillside. Ints can't move. Oath can't move. Even Xenon can't move because of just the domino effect of him trying to do so. Relo's at least trying to get something out of this really desperate position that he's in. Xenon being very patient on this one might be actually the undoing of Ints if they're not careful, because it looks like they're starting to lean his direction.
Ooh, Relo can get a revive and try and deal some damage as a duo, perhaps. But the blue coming in as fast as it is, mostly it's just going to be raw chaos here on the east side. MCG still have 4 up. So they're hoping to not get punished by any one of these stragglers coming on in, and Ents going out is going to make their control of the east side even cleaner now. BBL rotating away from Fury. They want to rotate away from any of these fights. They don't want to be caught up in any of that melee.
We will lead with a good angle into it. Has to be careful. He goes down. Oath is fighting tooth and nail to just make it inside the zone, but just down to one. Relo's trying to navigate it, and look, Multi-Circle Gaming knows where he's at. He's going to go down. Multi-Circle Gaming now getting control of the northeast of this circle. Fury pretty close to them at the time, but should be able to get the res on the easily as well. And now it's going to be all about this next circle. Yeah. Now, I'm starting to see the repositions coming through. Looks like Fury has decided, you know what? Let's just lean into the closer push, and they're eyeing Multi-Circle Gaming. Multi-Circle Gaming gets a little bit of vision onto it, but you can see Fury doing a good job of navigating. Insight gets vision on the side, takes down Tank, who's been putting in all the damage so far. Insight then spins it back around, and he is demolishing Multi-Circle Gaming on this angle. We do see that Flood goes down, but Multi-Circle Gaming in a ton of trouble right now, as Insight is just providing knowledge to every single teammate. There you go, Multi-Circle Gaming, take it down.
Fury have come alive this match. Great movement, going for fights, avoiding fights. But back here on the SONIQS, Singleton sends it on in with backup to remove 17, looking at 5 teams remaining. And I think Mert, down to 6 HP now, could be the next one out to show our top podium finishers.
The Watcher
now on the roof gets
what?
2!
What? Just pops up, scares him. I said Jack in the Box a second ago, but I wasn't expecting him to pop up on top of everything. TSM, I mean, they tried. That was the position you wanted to play, but BURIRAM defended it like giants.
And now, the last remaining teams not in the compound, SONIQS and Fury, both with 4 up. And I don't know if either of them are going to be eyeing that compound just yet, because the angle that TSM came in on is really the best angle to approach the compound. But fortunately, the circle goes their direction, forces BURIRAM to have to play from outside.
Commit into the fight just yet. They want to see how this goes, see if any knocks come into play. Tons of smokes now thrown down, and BURIRAM are trying to find an advantage angle to move into the center. SONIQS, though, have no vision, no idea what they're going to be walking into, and Ronin finally getting a little bit of a gumption. Tua moves into the center of everything, starting to vie for those spots and contest where BURIRAM's at. Everybody slow creeping up the side of this utility, being burned everywhere. Near on no vision as smoke is dropped on every single angle, and it's all being focused down on SONIQS. If there's a throwable, it's coming down their direction as BURIRAM is expending everything. They know where SONIQS are. They don't have the idea yet on where Fury is, so BURIRAM has to commit into this, and with this high ground positioning, there's just nowhere for SONIQS to go. They're having to step away from it time and time again. Finally, something breaks. It's gonna be Edie getting hit with a nade. This could be a follow-up coming into it at any given moment. How does SONIQS want to play it? Konaxi has to jump out. He's moving around this to get away from the Molotov, take some blue damage. Now, SONIQS, what do you want to do from here? You should have an idea that there's going to be a team on the other side of it, and it looks like it is going to be YK Kamukau starting to get involved on the other side of it. Mime having an idea on how this is going to play through, and everybody is just getting right up on top of each other.
Fury pushing in from the north this entire time, but all the smoke's in play. Everyone's still so alive and healthy. Even BURIRAM have a couple of members up to play with. Blood finds another. Konaxi fully confirmed. Now BURIRAM only have one remaining, but Fury are coming alive onto the SONIQS angle as well. BURIRAM are out. Fury and SONIQS remaining. 2 versus 3.
Looking through, Shrimzy, the last one up, gets spotted out, and Fury comes in. Big kill count and a smart play to navigate that end zone and fight their way through a ton of work to get to this stage.
Oh, come on, Flood. Let Insight kiss you. That was an amazing game coming out by Fury. 18 kills, 4 up into the late game. Not a single member got confirmed towards the very end, but even for the SONIQS, as close as that was, a very solid game for them as well. We're not going to call it the SONIQS being back. They did have a compound to play around with. Same thing for BURIRAM, which is why it is so amazing that Fury were able to win that game, because they had almost no advantage up until the end game.